Further ado, let's head to Boise, Idaho, and bring in the head coach of the Boise State Broncos, Bryan Harsin, who are in their fourth consecutive conference championship game, fifth overall. Coach, congratulations on getting here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah, good to hear your voice. Everything here is good and just getting prepared. And we're looking forward to this week. Congratulations to San Jose State. They've had a tremendous season. And we're proud of what we've been able to do. We're looking forward to this week of our preparation and then getting into this championship game and finishing out this season. So we're excited to be here, Jesse.
You guys have faced, just like any college football team, many hurdles here in 2020. It's been unlike any year. What are you most proud of with your program getting over many of those hurdles, plowing through others to get to this point? How have you been so successful in navigating everything that's come at you in 2020?
Well, we've had some successes, and we've obviously had some things that have been challenges like everyone else. And I'm most proud of everybody in this program, players, coaches, staff, everybody involved with Boise State. It's been a challenge. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that have done things to get us to the position that we're in right now. And, global pandemic and all these other issues that have gone on, along with having the opportunity to play football. I'm just proud of the people here and the work they put in. They've certainly done it, and they've done it well, and it's helped us to be in this position right now. And I know there's a lot of people that are much worse off than we are, so we're just grateful that we have a chance to play, and we're excited. I think we understand the opportunity that we have in front of us to play in this championship game. And 2020 is like no other year. And I think everybody that sits in this room and is a part of this program understands that we've overcome a lot to be in this position. We still have a long ways to go to get into this game and to finish out this week. But that's what I'm most proud of. It's about the journey, and we're certainly excited to play this game, but it's about the journey and the things that come along with it, what you learn and how you persevere, and the fortitude that people have had to help us be in the position that we're in right now. So that's what we've talked about. That's what we're this whole season's really been focused on is those things and the values that we've learned along the way, what this season has taught us, and then this opportunity we have in front of us. So this week is San Jose State. That's the focus and finishing.
Again, if you have a question for Coach Harsin, raise your virtual hand and we will call upon you. Our first question for you, Coach, comes from the voice of the Boise State Broncos, Bob Beeler. Bob?
All right, Coach, what do you see as the greatest challenge in taking on the Spartans?
Well, I don't see a lot of flaws in their game. I think they've played well in all three phases. They're explosive on offense, they're physical on defense, and special teams have been very solid in a lot of areas. They obviously came up big in the last game. Special teams did for San Jose State. Their run game was very good. This is a well-coached team that plays hard, and we got to study them a few weeks ago. We're obviously back to studying them again, and it's really the same. They've just done a really good job of getting themselves in a position to be successful in all three phases, and that's a credit to Coach Brennan, the players on that team, their staff, the challenges they've had to face. Certainly San Jose State, when you have a chance to play in a game like this and host it, we're going to a neutral site really, which is their home stadium now, but they've worked extremely hard as well to be in this position. So I don't see a lot of flaws. I see a very good football team, and we certainly have got to be prepared for that. And we've got to be ready to do the things necessary to go in there and be successful in this game. So we got a lot of work to do this week.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Bob. Our next question for you, Coach, comes from Ron Counts, the Idaho Statesman.
Coach, you guys have won a 19 straight regular season conference games. You're going to your fourth straight conference title. Those are really impressive numbers. In this era of transfer, if you're not happy, what does it take to put together that kind of streak?
Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily is with the transferring piece and all that, because I think that happens regardless of winning. I think that's more about situation. But what I would say to having that type of success, the consistency piece from the players and how they work and how they prepare, that's not something that you just have happen every year. You've got to put in the work every week. And so just the focus of trying to be 1-0 every week, when the season is over, coming back and starting over and preparing yourselves again for another season and not assuming anything along the way because of past success. I think these players, the coaches and people in this program understand that it's hard to win. It's hard to win, and it's hard to win every week. Certainly hard to win in our conference. And I'm proud of our guys for the focus that they've had to do that every single week. And this is no different. We have a chance to play in a championship. We have a week to prepare. We need tremendous focus and discipline to do the things that we have to do to be ready for the game. And that doesn't change. And I think the focus from what the teams in the past have been able to do, and a lot of these guys have been a part of that, has helped us to be in the position that we're in right now. And it is all San Jose State. It is we are focused on what we have to do this week to play against a very good football team, one of the best we've seen. And that has our guys' attention, and they're going to go put in the work to be ready.
And we saw George Halani leave last weekend's game. Can you give us an update on his health and if you expect to have him this weekend?
Yeah, we didn't bring him back in the game. I thought a little bit of the conditions at that point, and Andrew was running well. Tyler Crow, Danny Smith, those guys were ready. But really, I thought Andrew was doing a good job there. So, yeah, we'll see where George is at this week. Expect him to be out there ready to go. And, we'll get a few guys back, and hopefully that helps us with our depth going into this game. And then, obviously, we have challenges through the week before we actually go play. And we'll keep our fingers crossed that all that goes well with our testing and our preparation. So we go into this game, the guys that can be there, that have played this season and deserve to be there, get a chance to go play in this game.
Thank you, Ron. Coach, next question for you comes from BJ Rains, the Idaho Press.
Coach, you mentioned that experience, obviously being in your fourth straight championship game. This is the first championship game for San Jose State in a winner-take-all game like this, where one turnover, one mistake, one thing can be decide the game maybe. How do you hope the experience you guys have of playing in these type of games will pay off on Saturday?
Well, I don't know how I think the experience leading into it, we've had some guys here that have played in some championship games, so I believe the preparation piece is key. The game is the game. Things are going to change, happen in the game that we can't predict. I hope that we prepare ourselves to be ready for that. And like I said before, every year is different. The past years, the past teams, they did a tremendous job to be in those games and to have a chance to win a few of them. But this year is 2020. That's the focus, is this year's team. And certainly the idea of this week is making sure that we are prepared to go play against a very good team. In San Jose State, they've obviously had a very good run. They played well. Our guys have seen them now in their earlier preparation, and guys are in here working right now to get ready for our Tuesday practice and what we have to do this week for San Jose State. But the focus is now, and our preparation leading into this game is the number one thing.
You told us after the game, Coach, you didn't have a couple staff members and coaches. I'm just curious, if you plan to, that'll be the same problem again this Saturday, or do you hope to have those guys back? And with the quarterbacks too, you mentioned it's not ideal to have, two quarterbacks dressed for that game. I assume it wouldn't be ideal to have that again. And any hope of any of those guys being back for Saturday?
Yeah, we'll have staff back, which will be good, assuming no one else has to, test positive or anything like that or is gone. And then the quarterbacks, we'll have those guys back, so we'll have more depth. And I'm hoping by this week we'll be, I don't know if it will be full strength necessarily, but we'll be in a better position than we've been. And that's key. That's crucial for us to be able to practice the way that we'd like to. And then certainly going into the game with the depth necessary to go play and to be successful and to have the opportunities to do some of the things that we want to do. So as long as this week goes well, anticipate all those things happening, and there'll be some adjustments, and we'll have to solve some problems again this week, like we've done all season, and we'll be ready for that as the week goes on, and hopefully we continue doing well in other areas so that we can be ready for this game.
Thank you, BJ. Again, if you have a question for Coach Harsin, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get you in queue, and we'll get you called upon to ask your question. Next question comes from Jay Tusk, KTVB 7 in Boise.
Hey, Coach, how are we doing today?
Good.
If you look back, the Mountain West Conference Championship game was established in 2013. I know you weren't here in 2013, but Boise State made it to this stage just one time in the first 4 years of the game's existence. You've been 4 straight years now. Did anything change? Did any experience kind of change your message or anything like that to lead to this run?
Well, no, we were trying to always be in that game. So let me be clear on that. Every year the goal has been to play in that game. I think after the 16 season that we had 15 and 16 that we hadn't been in that game. And we had very good players at that time. Brett Rippon was the quarterback. And I think these guys, they just worked extremely hard to put themselves in a position to play in that game. That's why guys come to Boise State every year. I hope that we have a chance to play in that game or an opportunity. That's part of coming to a program like this. And we believe that, but we got to do the work. And so I felt like after that 16 season, we had players that put in the work, did things necessary to be successful during the season, to show some consistency during the season, to be able to play in that game at the end of the year. And but that's always been the focus. So I think it goes back to, your preparation, the work, the focus that you have. And when you've got the right people in your program, I feel like the things that we do, we can be successful, but it takes tremendous work and sacrifice to do that. And the guys that have been a part of these teams that have been able to be in those games, they've done those things. They've sacrificed. They've put in the work necessary. It's been teams that have been led very well, which I believe this year's team and the leadership that we have, they've done a tremendous job, especially in a season like no other and all the other challenges we've had to face. So it comes back to just guys doing what's necessary. And it's difficult to do that. It's not easy to put yourself in that position, but when you're willing to do those things and make those sacrifices, you have a chance. And we've certainly been able to do that this season, and we got to finish, no different this week. I mean, that's got to be the same focus going into this week as we've had, so we can go play our best football, hopefully on Saturday.
I think that in 2020, it's so easy to get bogged down by negativity or adversity. After the Wyoming game, you were doing an on-field interview, and a few of your players stopped by and hugged you as they were exiting the field. Of the last 9 months, do you have a favorite moment? Is there something that just stands out to you above the rest, a favorite moment? And maybe it'll happen after the game on Saturday, but right before that, a favorite moment of this year?
No, I don't have a favorite moment. Right. I mean, there's been a lot of moments. That was special after the Wyoming game. These players, one thing, you're right about the negativity and a lot of the stuff that we've all been dealing with, not just our football team, but everybody. And it's every single day. And, we have to intentionally work on being positive every single day and focus on the things that we get to do. And certainly there's negativity, there's sadness, there's a lot of things that have happened to all of us that we've been dealing with. And along the way, we're still playing football, and I hope that provides some sort of enjoyment for people when they get to watch the Broncos go out there and play. That is something that we do control, and we appreciate that opportunity. But there's been a lot of moments, Jay, just this season, a lot of things that haven't happened on game day, but things that have happened in this program. Guys that have overcome things, guys that have had tremendous challenges and have developed and grown from them, maturity for a lot of players on this team, guys standing up for each other, when things get tough, which this entire year, you go back to March, has been that way. So, it's the journey, right? It's not so much about the season, it's the journey. It's what you learn along the way. It's all the challenges that we've been faced with. And the one thing I really want to make sure our guys understand is they're capable of handling so many things, and they're able to do what they put their mind to. And I believe that. And I believe that about the guys that sit in this room and people in this program. Is I always want them to know that they're capable, and there's tools along the way they can learn to help better themselves. But these guys are tough. They're disciplined. They believe in each other. And as challenging as that game was against Wyoming, I think you could see the enjoyment that everybody had at the end of it, and how difficult it's been to get to this point. But also how much we appreciate, just the opportunities of being here and being in a program like Boise State. So that was certainly one of the better moments. I'll say that. And there's been a lot along the way that have been little but very important moments. And, as this year goes on, we'll see. We got another opportunity to play. So, I hope we have a great moment on Saturday. I hope we have great moments on Saturday, and it just becomes more a part of this journey in 2020 that these guys have learned a lot from and developed from.
Thank you, Jay. Next question for you, Coach Harsin, comes from the San Francisco Chronicles, Steve Kroner.
Yeah, Coach, appreciate your time. There's a thought that teams take on personality of the head coach. So, A, do you believe that? And if you do, what personality traits of Brent Brennan have the Spartans taken on?
I don't know if I believe that necessarily. I think the culture in your program, and this is not just something that's established. I think it's every year. I think that's becomes the identity that comes from coaches. Yes, certainly more importantly comes from players in that locker room, I believe. So, and it's got to be focused on every day. It's not something that we walk in here in fall camp and say, all right, this is who we are this year. You have to constantly be focused on that and be intentional about it every day of who you want to be. And it's very easy to fall off. And you see that a lot. And sports is a great example of it, where things are going well and then things just come unglued at times. And why is that? I imagine the coaches are probably somewhat consistent, and something happens amongst the team where that could be coaches and players where things they kind of unravel. So you got to be focused on it. You got to be intentional about it, purposeful about it every day. As far as San Jose State, I know Coach Brennan, and he's a good man. He's done a great job there. You can see that their team plays extremely hard. I don't know the inner workings of San Jose State football and all that, but they certainly have done well. So they've done things this season that have helped put themselves in the position to be undefeated and to play in this game. And I imagine that's been a positive thing for their program. And they've had a lot of challenges too with how they've had to practice, moving venues, all those things. They've been able to overcome a lot of things as well, like a lot of teams that are in the position that we're both in right now to be able to play in this game. And certainly that doesn't go unnoticed either. We know that, and this year especially, we appreciate that. Teams that are playing and teams that are playing at the end of the season for something that's hard to do. And I think as coaches, we all understand that. We're all dealing with our own programs, but we understand that, we appreciate that, and we certainly know how much challenges the other teams are facing too. So, congratulations to Coach Brennan and his team. I mean, I really mean that, and we're looking forward to competing against them and making sure that we have hopefully our best plan and everything put together so we can go out there and play our best football. And it's going to be a great game on Saturday, and two teams that I heard before 11-0 in conference play, they're going to be playing, and that's how it should be. So it's going to be a great opportunity for both teams to go in there and play.
Thank you, Steve. Coach Avery Williams is nominated for the Burlsworth Trophy for the outstanding player in the country. He started as a walk-on. Take me back to when you decided to put him on scholarship. What was it about him at that moment that you said, this guy deserves this, and he surpassed some of the expectations that you had for him even at that point?
Well, let me say this about walk-ons, and speaking from experience. he's a scholarship guy from day one, but that's not what we were able to do. But he wanted to be a Bronco. He wanted to be a part of this program. This was the place that he felt like he could thrive. And I think that's important. I think all too often guys pick places for other reasons, and you got to go to a place that you know fits who you are and where you can thrive. And I felt like that's exactly what he did. And so the first opportunity, when you see his work ethic, he's extremely intelligent and works very hard at not just football, but everything that he does. He's a leader and he brings people along with him. He's passionate about everything that he does. He's extremely focused and diligent in the work that he puts in every single day. And these are qualities that he came to us with. Like, he had these things and he's developed a lot of them through this program, but he's given so much more, I believe, than anybody could have asked for. So you talk about a guy that's going to leave this place better than he found it. He's a perfect example of that. And so when we had a chance to reward him, that was a no-brainer, very easy from that standpoint. And I think what he's been able to give back, I mean, you could give that guy 5 scholarships if we could do that. He's a captain for a reason. He's made plays on the field for a reason, because he works extremely hard. You guys don't get to see the practice habits. He finishes everything in practice. He runs all the way to the end zone. He does everything that you hear these stories that everybody talks about that great players do. Well, I mean, that's why they're great players, because they do all the things every single day that's necessary to be successful. And other guys, they don't. That's really that simple. He just chooses to, and some other guys choose not to. That's the difference. And he's always been that way. So, you know, he deserves all those accolades and things that he's gotten over his time here, but that's not his focus. Today, his focus is on getting prepared for San Jose State, period. And that's exactly how he'll operate, and that's exactly who he is, and that's exactly how he'll do things, I believe, the rest of his life. That's just the focus, and the expectation he has for himself is to do the best he can every single day, and that happens to be pretty darn good as a football player and a leader in this program.
No question. Thanks, Coach. Our next question from Willie Ramirez, the Associated Press.
Hey, Brian. Your defense, as far as the rushing defense, it's allowed a little more than 183 yards, about 60 less than it's gaining. And San Jose somewhat thrives with a balanced attack on offense. How much focus do you have to spend on stopping San Jose's run to avoid it controlling the tempo and the clock, somewhat working in unison with that physical defense you spoke of and wearing your guys down?
Well, yeah, you've always got to focus on the run game. I think that's I don't think that's anything that any other program wouldn't say. And they were physical. They've been physical this year. They run the ball well. Their schemes are very good. And, you know, I think that's always got to be a focus. Every time we play a team, you're always going to study the run game and figure out what they do and what they do well, and be focused on that. And then you're right, the balance, they're going to be able to throw it. Quarterback is very good. Wide receivers are very good. Tight end is very good. And, you know, the O-line has played very well. So, you know, that's part of it. That's what you have to prepare for on the defensive side is you're going to see it all. And, you know, I feel like our guys on defense have prepared themselves well this year. We played well in this last game against the run, against a really physical offense. And it'd be no different this week. It goes back to our preparation and how we study and the things that we do in practice to get ourselves prepared for San Jose State. But it's balanced. They're very good at all those things on the offensive side. And but we've seen that this year as well. I mean, this is going to be a new challenge for our guys. We need to be better. We've got to be prepared. And, you know, our process has to be very clean this week as we get ready for the game.
And if we can feed off that, you said new challenge. When you talk about the Mountain West, you've been there 4 straight years. The traditional powers, Nevada, San Diego State, Fresno State. Can it be dangerous when you're facing a team like this that's made this type of run, and it's new to them? So, and some may look at it like, well, Boise's been there, they have the experience. San Jose, this is all new. But at the same token, how dangerous can it be for your team to face a team like this with maybe a chip on his shoulder?
Well, I think we have a chip on our shoulder as well. And every single team we face in every game. I don't see it any differently. It's one game, 4 hours, and you better be ready. You better be focused. You better have prepared properly to go play in that game. I've never been into any game I've ever played personally in or coached in where it's been like, yeah, these guys have this and that. It is all about that team. And this week is going to be a different challenge for both teams. What we've done, we can learn from that, but this is a new game. This is a new opportunity. And the experience piece, our guys there's some guys that have been there. That's not the focus. The focus is on how do we get ourselves best prepared this week in practice to go out there and play our very best this season. That's always what we try to accomplish every single week. And I don't see that any differently. San Jose State is good. We've done some good things this season, and we're going to get ourselves ready. We're looking forward to traveling and being there in Vegas and playing at Sam Boyd Stadium against a very good team. This is why you work so hard to be in a game like this and to play for a championship. And you expect that the other team is going to be very good as well, which is exactly the case. And we wouldn't want it any other way. So, once we get into practice tomorrow, our habits, standards, all the things that we have worked on this season, we need to be on point as we get ready to go and get ready to play this Saturday.
Thank you, Willie. Only have a couple more minutes here with Coach Harsin. Next question from Paul Schneider, KBOI in Boise.
Coach, the last couple of years, you played Fresno State during the regular season, played Hawaii during the regular season. Haven't played San Jose State this year. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, Paul, that's the first time in these championship games that it's been set up like this. Like I said, it's really hard when you go back through the season, and I was asked that before. I don't really know the answer to that. I think you have some more familiarity when you go into a game. I don't know if the schemes so much and that type of thing is really the focus when you've already played another team. I think as a player, you've played against that opponent. You played against the guy you're going to go against in a one-on-one situation already. So you have a little bit better idea when you played him. In this case, we don't have that. We didn't play during the regular season. Now we're playing the championship. And for us, that doesn't make any difference. I don't think. They're going to study. It's just, you're not going to exactly know from not playing him exactly what that guy brings to the table. But at the end of the day, that's how our whole seasons. We hadn't played Hawaii before this year, and there's new coaches and new staffs and new players. And so to us, it's going to be a little bit like this entire season's been. We're preparing for an opponent we haven't played yet. We got to get ready and make sure that we take care of the things that we can to put ourselves in the best position to be successful on Saturday.
This is the second time you've gotten ready to play San Jose State. How strange is that?
Well, it's strange, Paul, to be honest with you. The first time when you prepare for a team under normal circumstances, you play them. And we're fully expecting to play this game. So that first round, I don't know what you call it. I think that's probably something that we can talk about when the season's over. But we had some practice that we got in for San Jose State, and now we got a chance to do it again. And it's changed a little bit. They played a game. We missed another one after that. We played in this last one. And now it's just, hey, we're ready for this week, and we're looking forward to playing them and getting out there on the field and getting that opportunity this Saturday.
Thank you, Paul. Next question from Will Hall, KTVB in Boise.
Hars, when you look at San Jose State's defense, what stands out to you?
They're second in scoring defense, third in red zone defense, third in pass defense, third in sacks. Players on their team, Harmon, Hall, Webb, those guys are all very good. I mean, I think they do a very good job. I think their D-line is very good. I think their linebackers have played extremely well. Their secondary is tough. This is a very complete defense from what I've seen, and they do a good job. in situations as well. So it's a challenge. How do you run it? How do you throw it? How do you do all the things you want to do on the offensive side? So well coached, and they've played hard this season, which, that's a great challenge for our offense. We got a lot of things that we have to do to improve, to be ready to play against a defense like this. But I think that also is what is exciting for our guys on the offensive side. Is you're going to play a really good team and a really good defense in particular that we've got to get ready for. So, we love those challenges. This is a great opportunity for us to go out there and make sure that we have a great week of preparation, and then go cut it loose on Saturday and see what happens, and be ready to go out there and hopefully play our best on the offensive side.
All right, Coach, final question for you today comes, it's a follow-up question from Ron Counts, the Idaho Statesman.
Coach, I actually just wanted to clarify. Did you say that you guys pulled George just for precautionary reasons? Was there no additional injury there?
Yeah, we pulled him out. I mean, at that point in the game, he obviously wasn't feeling great, and, went over there and met with the trainers and all that. And then just at that point, we were rolling with Andrew and felt like what we had was the right combination at that point to finish the game.